Hi, I'm Nick, and I like comics.
And I'm Adam, and I know comics.
Welcome to another Unscripted episode where today we are just going to talk about some of our favorite things. Comic book-wise, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
First off, we're going to start off with our favorite comic book character. Adam?
On the spot? Daredevil. Done. Here's why. First of all, it's pretty darn cool you take a handicapped character and make him a superhero. And the fact that they did that in the 60s, props to Stan Lee for coming up with that idea. I'm assuming he came up with it. The guy takes credit for a lot of ideas that may or may not be his. That being said, though, he's redheaded. He's a lawyer. He's got a great sense of humor, but he knows how to turn it dark if he needs to. And this is something that I say, not to say that I don't like Batman, because I like Batman a lot, but as opposed to Batman, who's a little more, serious all the time, and all the detective stories are great, and he's still serious all the time, Matt Murdock can have a section of stories where he's going to be kind of funny and witty and make jokes and still get the job done. And there's other stories where it's taken a darker twist. And he has to go dark ninja style Daredevil, and he does that too. And that's cool because he's actually a person who is a human. He has a fully fleshed out set of emotions. He can be happy, sad, or angry, or any variation between or further because the writers are okay with letting him be that. And he's handicapped. And it's pretty neat. Plus the whole redheaded thing. There's not enough of those in comics. Male redheads. There's plenty of female redheads, though. We can list all day how many female redheads there are, but not male. So that's why Daredevil is my favorite. A little wrapped up, tiny little version of why.
Okay. My favorite hero right now is Batman. It has been for the last 4 years. Obviously, the movies, kind of got me into that. But then when I started reading the New 52, I really like Scott Snyder's writing. I like the character that he has made. I like Batman a whole lot. But the more that I read, some other characters that are really moving up on my list, I really like the Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. He's kind of one of those, for lack of a better word, kind of a douche.
He always puts his family first over everybody else's family.
Right, but...
He always puts his science in front of them, though.
Right. And so he's kind of... He's a hero and he's viewed as good, but he's kind of like Professor Xavier in that same thing where he kind of does a lot of very gray, very sketchy, borderline villainous stuff. But again, he always comes back to this idea of family. All this comes back to, these are my... So I really like him a whole lot. I do like Deadpool. I'm non-apologetic about that. I'm not an annoying Deadpool fan, though. Am I annoying?
No, not at all, actually.
I mean, maybe in other stuff, but not being a Deadpool fan.
Do you even own any Deadpool clothing?
I own a t-shirt, but I got fat, so it doesn't fit anymore.
Perfect.
I also really like Deathstroke. I know he's kind of out there a little bit, and he's kind of seems to be going kind of through a little bit of a transition of going from straight villain to anti-hero, and now he's kind of in that anti-hero sliding to hero kind of thing. In his current story arc, he's actually fighting Amanda Waller and Argus and the Suicide Squad, trying to take her down, and she's a lot like Nick Fury and
right.
Classified as a good guy but does a lot of bad stuff. So anyways, those are the ones that I really like, but I keep coming back to Batman. He's the one that really got me back into comics, and he's the one that got me into comics, right. And I really enjoy him. I really like his story, but there are so many others. I started reading Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She is really cool. Like her a whole lot. So anyway, that's not my favorite. Those are some of my favorites.
Who's your favorite artist?
Ooh. Well, I really like... In reading The Secret Wars, I really like Esau Brivik. I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
All right. I don't know what his style is, a blend between, and maybe this has to do with the colorist that he uses too, but it seems like it's the stuff in the forefront is very colored and looks nice and very clean, very hyper-realist kind of thing. And then his stuff in the background is colored in with colored pencil almost. Mm-hmm. It looks really, really cool. I really, really like his art. Also, Greg Capullo, again, he's on the Batman with Scott Snyder. I just like how he does a really good blend of cartoony and real together. And then whoever the current artist is on Ms. Marvel, I don't even know who it is, but I love that style. It's very caricature-ish almost.
Well, yeah, and that's part of her power set. Too.
Right.
Yeah.
I know that she can do, but even like her dad and just kind of how he's shaped and it's misproportioned just a little bit. I really like that. And then recently I read Kingdom Come and Alex Ross's. He's probably everyone's favorite at some point. Or I mean, his stuff is so good. So yeah, those are some of my favorite. What about you?
Well, I think if I had to pick a favorite, it would be Dustin Nguyen pretty easily. He did some Batman stuff back when, and it's I get it. But he has this style it's focused on watercolors is a big deal for his. And I mean when he does pencils too, it's all good. But something about it, you're capable of taking something dark and making it kind of I don't know how to describe it, but watercolor is a powerful tool in comics and doesn't get used often enough. We'll say that. I also really like Fiona Staples. She does Saga. She's on the current Archie comic. She does that perfect combination between real and cartoony. I mean, the ideal comic book style, I guess. And then besides that, I mentioned in a recent video, Marcio Takara is really cool. He does that very cartoony style where it's not like misshapen cartoony. Everybody has their normal physique and form as a human, but it's mostly line art, I guess, is the way to put it. All the other stuff that's added on is brought in by whoever's doing the colors or whatnot. But his line art is just it reminds me of like Bruce Timm and that sort of art, but a little bit better fitted for comics. So those three right now are big deals to me. I mean, I like Ramos a lot. Humberto Ramos is really cool. Bacalo is great too. They have similar styles that are overtly cartoony. They're okay with messing with proportions and stuff, and that's fun to me too to see that. So they've done a lot of Spider-Man work. Both of them have through the years. So there's a kind of a list of my top.
I also just saw some Scotty Young stuff, just like his like little. It's almost like Looney Tunes,
just
a
little bit.
Yeah. Jay Lee, well, it's just like crazy. I mean, it looks painted. I mean, it looks really, really cool. Like, I really like the stuff that he did for Batman Superman.
Yeah, those covers are
or Superman
cool.
Batman. Whatever
it was. Batman and Superman. For
right.
New
The
52,
New 52. Yeah, really, really like his stuff. And he didn't just do the covers. He actually did the art inside. For at least the first few issues. That was all I read. It was really good.
For you guys watching, I mean, the artists we're mentioning are mostly for people who have probably read comics more recently. Because I know you're thinking, where's Neil Adams and guys like that? What about the Ramitas Senior and Junior? And they'll have their place, but from more recently, this is stuff we've been reading and really enjoyed their art. And with Scotty Young, I've met him a couple times in person at a convention in Kansas City, and I have a few of his books. He sells art books, and signs them, does a little art in there for you. And he's a cool guy for one, but also his style, outside of comic books, just what he does like on his Instagram and stuff, it's always this dark, twisted version of something. It's very sketchy and cartoony, but it's always dark. I really love it. So, who is your favorite comic book writer?
I have a couple of them that go to the top of my list. First one is Scott Snyder.
Of course.
Of course. I really like his stories. I like how he puts them together. Again, it might have something to do that he was a writer on Batman, and Batman is what got me into it. And it could be that. I don't know. But I really like it. I've read some of his other stuff. It's really good. Witches. It's this horror comic that he did, I think, for Image. Solid. Okay. Anyways, really, really like Scott Snyder. Another guy that I really like is Jonathan Hickman. He has this way of writing stories that kind of seem like this, like disconjointed and very far apart, and just slowly brings them in. And then he thinks of everything, and so they just fit very snugly like this. And you're like, okay, I know it took me 60 issues for this to happen, but it's awesome.
Right. I imagine that he has like a room in his house that's just on the wall. It's just lines with bubbles, everything connecting together. Like there's no other way to do this.
My favorite thing that he has written that I have read is his Fantastic Four run. I think it starts at issue 570 and then actually goes until the book ends. Fantastic. I mean, super, super good. And I didn't really know much about the Fantastic Four until I read that, and I was not lost at all. Well, I mean, I was lost in the sense it was Jonathan Hickman writing, because he just writes stuff and you're like, what the crap is this? But, man, his Avengers and New Avengers run, and then Secret Wars this summer, Next year, he's doing a Transformers series. Did you know this? He's
No.
writing. Yeah, he's writing Transformers. He's taking over two Transformers. He's taking over two Transformers books. That kind of seems to be his MO. He had the Fantastic Four and FF, and they had Avengers and New Avengers.
Right.
And then now with this, he's doing like the main Transformers story and then some other Transformers story. So I might actually pick up an independent, whoever does Transformers, just to read his stuff because it's really, really good.
Right.
So those would be two of my favorites.
So I think my favorite writer would have to be Matt Fraction at the top, with like Jeff Lemire and Mark Waid really close by, and all for kind of the same reason. Although Jeff Lemire can go deeper into plot, but most of it's because they're character centric. So as much as I very much appreciate Jonathan Hickman's plot style and how he like takes all these things and just so perfectly molds it together, I really love like Matt Fraction will take a character like Hawkeye that nobody gives that much a crap about. Like they're like, yeah, Hawkeye's cool. I've seen him in the movie, whatever. But you take that character and he makes him this very connectable human being. Like there's not a single issue in there where he's not covered in like bandages or he gets beat up all the time, but he still wins ultimately. That's because he wants you to connect to him as being a person. And he screws up, and he says, it's all these cool things about that. He's done the same thing for other characters before. And Jeff Lemire has a similar style to that as well, where you're going to connect to that person. And Mark Waid does that with Daredevil in a more humorous way, and I really appreciate that too. And it's all kind of that same thing. I really love it when you can take a maybe 2 or 3 issue stories and you connect with that character, and I really love that kind of style. I as always, I don't know what more to say to that, because when I like something, I say less about it than when I don't like something.
I also really like Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh yeah.
I like I liked his Ultimate Spider-Man, that, and then I really enjoyed his Uncanny and All New X-Men. Like he wrote 2 books of the same. One of them, I think Uncanny was twice a month and All New was once a month. So he was writing those 3 books, a month.
I really loved him in Ultimate Spider-Man. He's kind of hit and miss with me when it comes to like any team book.
Mm-hmm.
But he just knows how to write. Funny enough, obviously a very much grown man, he writes like teenager stuff really well.
So who are some of your favorites? Whether comic book characters, writers, artists, movies. What's your favorite?
Let us know in the comments below. Please like the video and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well.
Bye.